Hi everyone, I'm Peggy Rometo and this is the Weekly Wake Up. Each and every week we like to slow down, check in, allow yourself to be able to connect with the information that's available to us all and be able to receive what's possible for us for the next 7 days. And the way we do this is we close our eyes, we go into our heart, we breathe up and down through our body, down to the center of the earth, use our imagination, envision white light. And we do this because it's connecting with our psychic senses, right? Our ability to intuitively see things, hear things, or feel things. And so the more we practice this, it's like a muscle that gets stronger and stronger. So, like always, we'll just close our eyes and go ahead and take 3 long breaths in and 3 long breaths out. And then we'll ask the question, what can we expect for this next 7 days? And we'll see what we get, okay? So let's tune in and find out. Three. So we start out the week with this, it feels like a great opportunity. White light, opening, heart-centered, an ability to really see what needs to get done. And it feels like as we move more into the week, it almost like storm clouds gathering. And now here's the thing about information, right? Because we have a large group of people that we're connecting with, that I'm connecting for, there's some of you are going to experience this week like a tornado, and it rips everything to shreds and you're left barren. Other people are going to experience this week like, oh, it might rain and a drop comes down and that's that, right? So let's ask, is there a way that we can, for those of us that have the potential that something could happen in our life that we would just feel wrecked, is there something that we can do to minimize that? So what's coming up is the way in which we perceive information, or the way in which we perceive life events, right? Because, oh, okay, this is nice. So they're showing me that some of us that have these wrecked things, it could be a contract that doesn't go through, that gets ripped up. It could be something that you were counting on, a house that you were expecting to buy or sell doesn't go through. It could be that, a business deal that you were brokering doesn't happen, or that you lose some valuable income. But they're showing me is what you're not seeing is that there is there's something on the other side of that. What reminds me of is I had a friend once, that client that asked me some information, and they said, listen, how come I had this house and I had it and I couldn't sell it and all these contracts fell through. And, and I was stuck with this house for like 7 years. And I wanted to sell it, and everything kept falling through. And why is it selling? And what came back is like what you perceived was a problem that your home couldn't sell. You were actually being protected, because if you had sold that home, you'd have taken that money out, that $500,000 out of that house, and you would have put it into the stock market. Is that true? Yes, the client said. And what would have happened to the stock market? That's back when it just plummeted and everybody was left with, 30% of what they had put in. And she was like, oh my God. So she had completely seen the beauty of her home not selling. Those 7 years was actually protection for that money that it did sell a year later, and she was able to get that money out. And she missed this kind of crazy thing that was happening in the market at that time. So just know, whatever you perceive as this horrific tornado event, there's really a protection energy in it. So I want you to see that whatever happens for you this week is some sort of protection. Now, for some of you, it could have already happened. It could have happened recently. And for the rest of you, it could be happening next week or the following week. And the reason I say that is we have a full moon energy here on Thursday, January 12th. And this full moon is prickly. Like, I feel like, almost like a sunburn, like if you've been out in the sun too long, and so it's like that kind of energy where you could get burned. Now, again, you want to look at this as a protection. So if something falls apart for you this week, know that somehow you're being protected, that there is a better situation or scenario that is going to happen for you than this particular event. So don't sweat it, guys. If something happens this week that's unexpected and is disappointed, just know that there's a better scenario for you. And you may have to, like, move some rubble to find it. But when you find it, there you'll know it. You'll know that, wow, this is the reason for it. This is why it occurred, and there's something better that's going to come out of it. So I want you to keep that in mind this week as things happen that you don't have control over. If we had control over it, right, we wouldn't have to have the tornado, right? We'd be able to avert it. We, go someplace else, right? We'd do something different. But they're showing me there's some things this week that are out of our control, and this is the perception I want you to bring to it, so that if it happens to you, because now there are other people this is not going to happen to. There are other people that's going to, like I said, you'll just see the storm clouds, you'll have a little rain, a drop on the nose, and that'll be that. It'll pass, and that's all there is, right? Because for some of us, we've already had these events in our life, or they don't pertain to us. So just know that this is what's possible for us this week. Let's see what else is possible for us this week. Okay, so there's also, along with this, when an animal goes into a storm, before the storm comes, the animal, what happens? Their senses get really heightened. There's a real sense of, like, wait, something's going to happen, something's going on, and they take a step to protect themselves. So be aware this week, if something's nagging at you, don't do this or go do that. Oh, make sure you follow up with this. Do it, right? We all know health insurance is a big deal here in the US, and January 15th is another cutoff date, right? If something's nagging at you, got to get that done, got to get it done. Go get it done, right? If there's some, if there's something about, I need to cancel that appointment. I need to not go there. I need to get rid of that off my schedule. Do it. So whatever these kind of like impulses are, make sure that you follow through. It's really important, because this is another way in which the universe can speak to us. So there's a really, just like an animal with a storm coming, there's an opportunity, it lets me know there's an opportunity for some of you to protect yourself. And what's coming up is, I remember specifically when this healthcare situation came out, I was so upset by how expensive it was for my family of 5. And to the point where I said, that's it, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get insurance. I'll pay the tax penalty. And what was interesting, what came back to me is my guide said, fine, do that. But for your one child, he absolutely needs it. And he needs it by September 1st. So you better give him insurance, because he's going to need it by September 1st. And I actually thought, okay, and I got him the insurance. And do you know, September 7th, he had an appendectomy, an emergency appendectomy with complications. He ended up being in the hospital for 10 days, cost $180,000. He didn't pay a dime because I got him insurance. So it's like that. I listened and I followed through. Now, I've had times when I didn't listen to the advice, and I've lost a lot of money, all right? So I know now to listen. So I just want you to know that if there's a nagging or a pulling at you to go do something this week, it is a protection. Think of yourself as that deer in the woods that gets that sensation, a storm is coming, and runs for cover. So it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but it is that sort of, sensitivity that you can have this week to take action in your own life, that you're going to look back and go, thank God I did that, or thank God I did this, or thank God I sold that car, or thank God I decided not to go there. So I just want you to pay attention. This is not about freaking you out. This is about listening, and this is about making your life better, right? When you listen and you pay attention to those kind of like promptings in your life, things just go smoother. Oh, little things too, like when you're in the grocery store, maybe I should buy some more milk. Oh no, we have plenty of milk. And you get home and you realize that your kids just drank all the milk, and now you don't have milk to make, whatever it was you were making. So it's like that. It can be little nagging things. So I want you to pay attention. There's a real opportunity this week to feel this information coming in and really apply it in a way that's going to really matter for you. It feels more so than other weeks. And it could be a lot of it. Could be that there are some big things happening this week that you can avoid if you're listening to your own instincts. So really key, really important. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is the other thing. Do your best this week to be patient and observant. There's going to be a lot of people who are on edge, a lot of people who don't have patience, who are impatient, who will jump to conclusions. Don't be somebody who jumps to conclusions. This week, you're being asked to step back, be thoughtful and observant, and don't jump to conclusions. Don't be part of the herd. So whatever is going to be happening around you, there could be this little bit of a herd mentality or jumping to conclusions. You're being asked to not to do that, because there's going to be more information revealed that shows it's not what you think. It's not, it's not as bad as what's being uh, assumed. Okay, so don't, whatever comes up in your life this week, you're being asked to step back, be observant, and not jump to conclusions. Okay, this is also gonna, that position, all those things I just described, when you do that, when you actually step back, you're disengaging from your own emotions, you're observing, and in that space, more information, more intuitive information can come to you. So you actually act more in alignment with the truth, and which means your life will be better, right? You'll miss challenges and you'll be able to grab opportunities. So pay attention this week, really listen, really observe. I want you to really, this, I don't know what's going to happen this week, but there's a lot of information here about just stepping back, not putting your finger in the electric, socket, right? Not going with the herd mentality or jumping right in and assuming anything. Because what will happen, this is the other thing, because the energy is really intense, right? And when the energy is really intense, if you just assume something, we become very reactive. And when we become really reactive, we may say things we'll regret. We may do things we'll regret. We may hurt people. We may get ourselves in a situation that we wouldn't normally respond to in that way. So by stepping back, being more observant, doing our best not to become reactive, this kind of electrical force that's happening with the energy this week, especially around Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, especially that 72 hours there, we can kind of sail through the storm, just like very quiet, go underneath it all, and just kind of like, wow, look at those people. Wow, look at those people. I'm so glad I listened to the weekly wake up, right? So we can unplug and not be part of that problem, but be the solution. Be the calming force in the room. Be the calming voice in the room. Be the center of the storm where it's quiet, okay? So whatever's going on around you this week, don't get sucked into it. Don't believe it. Don't buy it, right? Now, so the good news is that this is information for you that's gonna you can use in every area of your life, and it's gonna be able to give you a greater sense of control over your own life. Even though we all know that's an illusion anyway, but anyway, you'll feel like you have more control, and you'll feel like you can then steer yourself in ways that you need for success. All right, everybody. Let's see if there's any last thing here about this week. In this space also of quietness, there's a lot of creative information available to you. So you may have a lot of time to write and create. This would be a great time to write and create. The good news is with this energy, things move really, really fast. So there can be a lot of things that right away you get up above this cloud cover, up above this storm, and you go boom, straight to the top. So there's going to be some really fast things, really positive things for a lot of people as well. So, in the universe is the duality, right, of the darkness. So is the same amount of light available as well. So this week, for some of us, there can be a really straight to the top thing that can happen. Like you could have some amazing phone calls, like the best phone call of your life. You could be given a job offer, the best job offer of your life, right? There can be some career moves. There can be some things that are just like gorgeous, like so amazing. So just know we're dealing with these big dualities this week of huge darkness, huge light. And to get above the darkness, we want to step back. We want to relax. We want to be observant. We want to allow information to come to us that's going to guide us to be non-reactive from these events around us. And we're going to ask a better thought. Ask a better, what's another way? How else should I be seeing this? Anything I should be doing now? The universe answers us through specific questions. You ask a specific question, the information will come to you, right? And if you're still not sure to act, let it come through 3 times. And sometimes you hear it from somebody else, sometimes you see it on TV, and sometimes you dream about it, right? There's a lot of different ways for the same answer to come to us. And a lot of times that's how I make a decision about doing something really life altering, is I make sure that I get a lot of validation, externally, that I'm seeing it validated out there. I'll say to the universe, hey, if I'm supposed to do that, then show me, make it a clear sign. And then somebody will come to me and say the exact thing that I was asking about. So it's amazing. So I want you to really work with that energy this week. Try it this week. It feels like a really exciting time. Okay, all, thank you so much. Have a terrific week. It feels like there is electricity in the air, so I hope you enjoy it. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week.